Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock Review is catching up with the founders of the Allman Betts Band. We've got Devin Allman and Dwayne Betts. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You know what? I love the new album. We were talking before we started the interview that you used a brilliant Southern phrase for this new album that's coming out the end of August. Bless your heart.
Yeah, you know, we've made the last two records in Alabama. You know, spent a lot of time in the South, grew up in the South. When the music was starting to, you know, get written and kind of reveal itself for the direction that we were going, there was certainly a lot of Southern elements. And I remember being on tour somewhere in the hotel with Dwayne and our co-writer, Stahl Vaughn, and saying, man, it would be really cool to name the record after a Southern expression. And that was just kind of the most obvious one. It has a few different, you know, tongue-in-cheek meanings. You know, we said, yeah, you know, that sounds like something maybe the Stones would have called a record in the 70s. So it's just, it kind of stuck.
Well, you know, and talking with Dwayne earlier on it also, to where the music is such a departure from the last album you guys put out. And obviously with the 7-piece band now, you guys really went kind of a different direction musically, didn't you, Dwayne?
I'd say we just grew. I wouldn't say we went in a different direction. I don't look at it. We didn't consciously say, hey, let's go in a different direction. We just, you know, the tree grew 5 more little branches on each big branch, and it just kind of blossomed, I'd say. It's not something that didn't exist before. It's just something that, you know, there's always more to be revealed, you know? So I think that's a good way to put it, you know?
No, I can't agree with you more, because I mean, some of the songs to me feel very Americana, and then some of them, you know, I can certainly hear the Allman Brothers. Like I was telling you earlier, some of them I hear Little Feat or the band and you can sort of hear your influences.
Well, those were two of my favorite bands. I've loved Little Feat. The live record Waiting for Columbus was kind of a staple. I think Warren Haynes and Alan Woody turned me on to that when I was probably like 13 or 14, or 15. Maybe I was 15 or 16, but it was somewhere in there.
Well, you know what, and both of you guys, you know, Devin and Dwayne, you guys are both, you know, young prodigies with music, and you've had your solo careers, you've had so many other different bands over the years. How did you guys end up coming together to form this unique musical union?
I mean, certainly always been family, just because of our relation to, you know, those before us. You know, timing is everything. You know, we spoke about maybe trying to write some songs or hang out and jam, you know, 5 years ago. And Dwayne was in a band called Dawes. I was in a band called Royal Southern Brotherhood. So the timing wasn't right. And eventually it's totally right. You know, I was kind of in an in-between phase and and Dwayne had been fronting some new material for the first time, really wanting to be, you know, more of a singer and a songwriter in addition to a great guitar player. And man, that the need for both of us to do that, you know, it came together and it fit under one roof, and it's been great.
Well, you know, and I think that's what's great about the music you guys have made. It's hard to believe for me that you guys have only been together since 2018, and the maturity of the new material, the evolution of it. But you guys really, there's a great interplay between sharing the vocals, sharing the instrumentation and everything. And you don't hear that with a lot of bands.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Give it up to our band for that. We've got some great hats.
Yeah, the whole band we're really proud of. Everybody brought it on this record, and, you know, really we were able to showcase a lot of different colors and textures, and yeah, the songs that we sing together on, I mean, not every song lends itself to that, but a song like Magnolia Road, especially, really was a great idea for us to split up the verses, and it really lends itself to that. So it's a lot of fun to do that when it works.
I want to bring up that the last 2 albums that you and Devin and the band have done, you've been doing them on 2-inch tape in Muscle Shoals, going a little old school, but, you know, for my ear, I can hear the warmth from doing the albums that way. Can you guys also?
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. I'm
Yeah.
a old school audiophile. I've got a massive vinyl collection, and we also on the digital front, we make sure that all of the masters are rendered in 96 kilohertz 24-bit. It's not perfect, but for the digital realm, it certainly tightens up those gaps between the ones and the zeros and provides a little depth. But the analog, man, when you listen to these records on vinyl on a good system, you get that long doom of the drums that you don't get digitally. You get a real feathery texture on the acoustic guitar work.
Right.
The vocals are more present and natural.
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing to like a cool kind of thing that you can add to the character of your band. I don't think it's necessarily. I mean, there's some great records that are made and sound cool, like sound great, but to really get that sound, there's something about going to tape that is undeniable. And it's kind of just, well, yeah, we could, but why don't we just keep recording the tape? It sounds great. So, I mean, I'm down if that's what Devin wants to do. I don't have any problem with it. It sounds great,
It adds to the story. It adds to the sexiness, because now with technology, you can go in somebody's basement and turn out a great record.
Yeah.
A great sounding record, but you can also drink a protein shake and be full. I'd like to sit down and enjoy my meal with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, and once again, talking about this album, with Bless Your Heart, I mean, this is a meal. I mean, it's like, you guys cover so many different styles of music and all the songs, and from the instrumentals and everything you've got in here too. It's like, it's such a fun listen, but there's a lot of depth to the songs. And also, we got to talk about this. I mean, compared to the videos you guys did for the last album last year, and with this new album for Magnolia Road, kind of cool with the animation that you guys did for this video.
It was born out of necessity during this time where the world is weird and we couldn't be together. How can we make a video where we're not in it? Oh, a cartoon, of course.
And the
really
funny
is.
thing is, the funny thing it is about that is that it was done by necessity, but it wouldn't have really been a bad idea anyway, because we hadn't done an animated video. It was kind of just a great idea anyway, just to, and then maybe the second one we're in it, which we are in the second one.
Well, and I'll tell you what, you guys made so much headway when you first formed the band. Obviously, last year's album and this album just seems like an incredible evolution of it. And it just also sounds, several of them, I can tell, lend themselves to where you guys are going to be able to jam on stage and have a lot of fun with the full band.
Always. Yeah, there's always some jamming going on when we play a gig. Definitely. That's undeniable. But yeah, there's some definite pieces on there that are, some of them just kind of happened, and we didn't know if we were going to stretch out the end. Like The Doctor's Daughter, for instance. Mm-hmm. The end of that, we didn't really decide that we were going to play that out. We just kept playing it, and I thought it was going to end. I was like, "Is it faded out by now?" And then it just kept going, and then we just kept the whole take as we played it out. Because no one's like, I'm kind of playing noodling on the acoustic, but it's not like a solo. I mean, it's kind of like you're letting it go, and then you're like, oh, we're still playing. Okay, I'll add something else in. Okay, well, if we're going to still play, then I'll do a little run here and add to it. And then it just kind of, we kept the whole take, I mean, without a fade. So that was a magical moment for the band on the record. One of the moments.
It seems to be a recurring theme because, there's some songs that have definitive endings. But there's some songs where we're like, okay, this is going to be one that we fade. So let's just play it an extra 2 minutes long. And then you end up hearing it and you're like, we're not fading that. Like,
yeah. And The Doctor's Daughter is the prime example of that.
Yeah. I think it happened on probably 3 or 4 other tracks as well. It's just like, no, keep that whole journey. It's fun,
Yeah.
Well, and you can tell that on some of the songs too, because as a listener, you don't want them to end. And also speaking of the acoustic guitar part, you can really hear the definition of the strings and fingers on strings in this album. Thank you so much, Devin and Dwayne of the Allman Betts Band. Thanks for coming on the show. Congratulations on the new album coming out and new videos. You've already got Magnolia Road out and the single out. More coming for Bless Your Heart. Thanks for coming on the Rockin' Review.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones show.